Today, we are going deep on the incredible transformation of one of history's most fascinating figures, the prophet Elijah. I mean, how did this intense, solitary prophet become one of the most beloved and welcome guests in Jewish tradition? Let's get into it.
So it really all starts with a mystery you've probably seen before. At a Passover Seder, there's always an extra cup of wine poured, the door is opened, all for a guest who never seems to show up. Why? Well, the answer to that one question pretty much unlocks this entire story.
And here is the central puzzle we need to solve. The Elijah we meet in the Bible was this fiery, zealous guy, a man of the wilderness who literally told God, "I'm the only one left." He was the ultimate loner. So how on earth did that guy become the guest of honor at our most intimate family gatherings?
Okay, so let's dig into this transformation. To really get a handle on it, you have to understand that we're basically talking about two different versions of the same person. You've got the Elijah from the Bible, and then you have the Elijah from tradition.
And the difference between them is, wow, it's stark. On one side, you have the biblical loner, the zealous, complaining prophet. But then, over the centuries, tradition molds him into a welcome guest, a protector of newborns, and a symbol of a hopeful future. It's a complete 180, and the story of how that happened is woven right into the most sacred moments of life.
So where do we actually find the clues for this wild evolution? Well, they're hiding in plain sight, inside three key rituals: Passover, the circumcision ceremony, and the ceremony that ends the Sabbath.
First up, the big one, the Passover Seder. This is Elijah's most famous gig. During this meal that's all about celebrating freedom from the past, tradition says Elijah is going to be the one to show up and announce the final redemption, the coming of the Messiah. He's the guest everyone is truly waiting for.
So what's the deal with that cup of wine? Well, it turns out the custom grew over centuries and had a few different meanings. For some, it was actually a pretty clever way to settle a debate between ancient rabbis about whether you're supposed to drink 4 or 5 cups of wine. They'd just pour a 5th cup and say, "We'll let Elijah figure it out when he gets here." For others, it was tied to welcoming the hungry and the needy. But over time, it became the powerful symbol we know today, a cup poured to welcome the guy who's going to announce our ultimate hope.
All right, on to our second ritual, the circumcision ceremony, the Brit Milah. Here, Elijah's presence gets even more real. It's not just a cup of wine anymore, a whole chair is set aside just for him.
And this isn't just some casual, nice idea. No, ancient texts are really specific about it. A formal declaration has to be made. This is the chair of Elijah. It signals that he's an absolutely essential witness to this foundational moment in a child's life.
But here's the kicker. Why him? Well, back in the Bible, Elijah was the one who zealously accused the people of Israel of abandoning their covenant with God. So the rabbis, in this absolutely brilliant twist, basically said, "Oh, you're so concerned about the covenant? Great. Then you have to come and personally witness every single time a new child enters into it." The accuser becomes the eternal witness, forced to see the people's faithfulness over and over again.
But his role here goes even deeper still. There's this incredible folktale where Elijah runs into the demon Lilith, who is believed to harm newborns. He confronts her and makes her swear an oath that she'll flee from any place where his name is written or spoken. And just like that, the fiery prophet becomes this supernatural protector, a guardian angel for the most vulnerable among us.
Okay, our third ritual brings us to Havdalah. That's the beautiful ceremony that marks the end of the Sabbath every Saturday night. And this is where Elijah becomes a weekly companion.
You know that feeling as the weekend ends and the work week looms? Well, as that sacred time of rest departs, people sing songs asking for Elijah to come soon. His presence is meant to soften that transition, to carry some of that Sabbath holiness and hope into the regular, mundane week ahead. He's a figure of comfort, keeping that hope alive. So, you've got a guest at the Seder, a witness at a circumcision, a comfort at Havdalah. What is the one big idea that connects all of these roles and finally solves the mystery of his transformation? The answer, believe it or not, comes down to this one word, liminal. It's from the Latin word for threshold. Liminality is all about being in a transitional state, standing in the space in between. And this one concept, it's the master key to understanding Elijah.
Because that is exactly what Elijah is. Think about it. According to tradition, he never actually died. He just went up to heaven in a fiery chariot. So he's not fully on earth, but he's not fully in heaven either.
He's part human, part angel, the ultimate in-between personality, a mysterious stranger who can walk in both worlds.
And once you get that, you see his liminal nature everywhere. At the Seder, where does he stand? At the threshold of the open door. He connects the past, ancient liberation, to the future redemption. He's the link between the safety of the home and the big world outside. And every single week at Havdalah, he bridges the sacred space of the Sabbath and the ordinary space of the week. He's a master of the in-between.
So in the end, that great paradox just melts away. The prophet who cried out, "I alone remain," was transformed into the ultimate connector. His entire purpose is to bridge gaps between past and future, between heaven and earth, between the sacred and the everyday. The loner became this timeless symbol of connection and hope, always reminding us that a better future is waiting right over the threshold. Which really just leaves us with one last thing to think about. Elijah represents that powerful hope for what's next, for what's about to arrive. So the question for us today is, who or what are the Elijahs we're waiting for at our own thresholds?